Hey YouTube, it is Soul Prime 13, and today we are going to be doing a video review of the comic edition leader class Grimlock. And I gotta say, since I got this guy in hand, he has, obviously he's as good as the original figure. There are a couple things that I believe are minor improvements, and overall, the only difference in the figure that you're gonna see right away is the color scheme. For the most part, they are the exact same figure. The original figure was great. There's not really anything different, except for one little thing that I'll mention later. And I'm not even sure if that's actually different or if mine was just, my original was slightly quality control issued. Um, but overall, he is a great figure and he looks amazing. I am trying a couple new things with this video review, so I'm hoping you guys will enjoy that. And if you do, please let me know and I'll try and do it more often. But first off, let's take a good look at him. We'll zoom in here. He's got that, signature Autobot symbol on the chest. You can see some of those cell shaded my bad paint apps there on the chest. He's got them all over the place, very vibrant yellow. And we'll move on up to his head. And honestly, I never really thought too much of the original blue. I think the only other Grimlock I have that's the comic colors is I have a Masterpiece Grimlock that was done in those colors, and I don't think it looked quite as good. Maybe I'll break him out in a minute, just for a comparison, but overall he looks pretty good. Got more of that shading there on the arm, there on the foot. It's got plenty here on just all over the place. There's a little on the back of the dinosaur head and on the wings. Overall, he just looks really good. And again, he's not really physically any different than the original. The only difference that I've seen is that the second joint in the arms for the dinosaur mode appears to have a ratchet, a soft ratchet in it now. And I don't know if that's new, because when I look at the molding on the back of the arm, there is these ridges, and they are present on the original, but mine isn't ratcheted. So I'm wondering if that was just a quality control thing. I don't know if that's actually different or if mine just wasn't put together quite right. But it's just a soft ratchet there. So yeah, and the main reason I bring that up is that if you want to put the accessories on the original Grimlock, which, there's the sword, which is meant for his comic version here, because apparently in the comic book his sword had this little notch in it right here, but the crown does fit on either one because they're the same. So and to put the crown on, there's a little notch here in the front. The front has the spike in the middle. If you go to the back, the spike in the middle is short, and here it's higher than the ones next to it. So if you just sort of put that over his noggin and push down, it'll slide on. But yeah, so that will fit on your Studio Series Grimlock if you have it as well, if you care to do that. So that is a nice little thing. And, if you want, you can give him his sword. And of course, he does come with a blaster. It looks like it is cast in blue plastic from these little notches and then just completely painted over in silver. So, but obviously he can hold that, and it is blast compatible. So if you want him shooting at the Decepticons, he can definitely do that. As far as other blast compatible ports, he has his shoulder, his forearm, does have one here down in the leg, and that's about it for the robot mode. There is one more in his dinosaur's mouth, and I will show that off when we transform him. But yeah, overall, I mean, he was already a great figure, and you know, this paint job just really shines. It's really neat. I really enjoy it a lot more than I was expecting to. The colors just really pop. I really like it. And we'll just do a quick side by side with him here next to the original Studio Series version. So yeah, again, as far as the figures themselves, I do not believe there's any physical differences. So it's all just in the color scheme, really. But yeah, overall, he has just won my heart really since I took him out of the box. One small thing to mention, you can't transform him with the crown on. It unfortunately sticks out a little bit too much, and his dinosaur chest won't close up with it on. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but it's not the end of the world. But yeah, we'll go over the articulation real quick. First of all, he's got his dino arms, which have an elbow that goes both ways, a little bit more than 90 degrees. The shoulder is on a ball joint, but it is somewhat limited because of how the arm is positioned, but you can definitely get a good range of motion out of that. The wings do go up and down and back and forth. His head is, the panel it's on doesn't really lock in. It holds well enough, but you know, if you push down on it, it will move. His head is on a ball joint, it seems. It can do a full 360. He can tilt side to side, look up, look down, and if you want, you can use that loose panel to increase the range of the up and down, if you so choose. His shoulders come all the way out and do a full 360. He has a bicep swivel, 360. He has basically two different joints here. One is for the dinosaur, one is for the elbow, and they have a pretty good range of motion. The toes do sort of fold in, and he has a 360 wrist swivel. You can use this to move his hand in and out a little bit, but that's more for transformation. He has the 360 waist swivel. His legs can go pretty far forward and pretty far back. So there's that. He does have the full splits, and he has more than enough ankle tilt, so he can do the limbo. I don't know if you guys can see that. There we go. So there's that. Bring him back over here. He has 90 degrees at the knee. And I think that is it for the articulation in robot mode. So yeah, let's get down to transformation. So to start off, we're just gonna unlock his fists and move them inside. Unlock, move them in. Then we will unpeg his chest and bring it down. Fold his head down. We'll come down here to the legs. Fold these heels down. Then we will pop open his calves, unhook his legs from the knee joint, and they'll you'll see that they sort of slide on their own here. I'll lift the dinosaur head to get it out of the way. Rotate that around. Bring these forward and squeeze them together. Let's see, then we bring out the tail piece like so. Same on the other side. Bring it out on those double hinges. And then we fold these in and put it together. There we have his tail. Can bring his torso chest piece down. Nope, it's not hooking together like I want it to. Pretty sure. Okay, there it goes. Now it's locked in. And then for the arms, you are supposed to use that top joint to make his legs bend down. It's a earlier rendition Tyrannosaurus, so you know it was back before Jurassic Park changed how we looked at him. If you want, one thing I do like to do is use both hinges if I'm doing like a pose with the leg, because it gives it more motion. It does look a little wonky since it's sort of disconnected, but it can give you more posability and range for the legs if you want. We'll bring these two wing panels together and don't want to close them up yet. Bring its dinosaur head all the way down, then close them up. Move the head into position, and there we have Grimlock in his dino mode. And yeah, you can see he's got some paint apps for like sort of a comic pixel look here that are a little easier to spot now. He does also have them on his legs too. I forgot to mention that. It does. I'm not entirely sure if this is intentional. I'm assuming it's intentional, but these both have the shading in the same way despite being the opposite legs. Got some nice shading there on the side of the face and the neck. So yeah. And we will do a quick size comparison here again. So once again, here he is next to the original Studio Series counterpart. Again, the only real difference here is the color scheme. But, just to give you an idea of how they look next to each other. So yeah. Unfortunately, the crown does not have any way to store in the dino mode. I wish they would have put that in there. I know that some of the smaller figures they've released over the last couple of years have a crown that does both modes, but unfortunately this one does not. The gun still has the same two tabs into the back of the feet on his back, like so. So there's that. And the sword does have a little peg on the side that you could just stick onto the side of his leg, or onto his tail for storage with the sword. Again, he does have one other blast effect piece here in his mouth. I grabbed an orange one for a fire breathing effect that they do. So there is that. As far as articulation goes, his arms and dino arms and legs now are the same. His dino head can do full 360 and can look up and look down, and as you just saw, his mouth can open a good ways. But yeah, overall, I really enjoy him. I will admit that I was kind of pressed into buying him to get those two swords for the other Dinobots. I like my Dinobots to have their swords. And I did post a picture of that. Not going to show it off here because it's literally just the swords for Slug and Sludge. and I believe it was, yeah, Sludge is the one that has the wire on it, in case you're wondering. And the regular, just standard looking sword goes to Slug. But yeah, overall, I do not regret getting this guy. He was a little pricey after tax and shipping, definitely more than normal leader class would have been. But overall, he just looks great. He is a great display piece. And again, the original figure was already amazing. I have no major complaints. The only issue I ever had was that these pieces here are a little loose, and that is a nitpick at best. It is just a solid figure, and I cannot sing its praises enough. They are going to reissue the regular Studio Series Grimlock sometime in the foreseeable future. They have mentioned that on Hasbro. So if you don't want to spend a little extra to get this guy and the other Dinobot swords, you can just wait and get the reissue a little ways down the line. But if you are interested in getting the full set of swords, or you just like the comic book deco, he is completely worth picking up. I definitely recommend him. So, that is my review of the comic book edition Leader Class Grimlock.